we're in the kitchen, and the message that I sent, the hint was taste and see that the Lord, He is good. We always just use that part of the verse, and Psalm 34 is one of my favorites, and I have it here. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will continually be on my lips. And then it goes on to ask people to join in fellowship and in worshiping the Lord. There's another passage after taste and see that the Lord is good. How happy is the person who takes refuge in Him. And I know we've heard through the news and even today with the virus that has taken over and consumed all of our time in the world and the economy and personal lives and health, everything. And a lot of people are fearful about that. But whenever we see that God is our refuge, we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be fearful. And to me, that creates joy and happiness. And when I'm happy, I like sharing that. And a lot of times the best way to share happiness is around the table, fellowshipping with one another, having a great meal, having a good dessert. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight, is taste and see that, you know what, peach cobbler is pretty awesome, and it's good. It's real good. So, we're going to do peaches. I have a can of peaches. You may say, okay, I don't have peaches. Actually, if you don't have peaches, you can use just about any fruit that comes in a can like this with heavy syrup, or one of our favorites, candied yams. This makes awesome cobbler. And if all else fails, if you have whole kernel corn, you can actually use whole kernel corn. It has a good taste. It tastes like a corn pie or a cornbread sweet pie, almost like a custard pie. But it's really good. But this is what we're going to use. This is such an easy recipe. And I know that I have said, hey, let's use white lily. I use white lily for my biscuits. Now, there are a lot of other good self-rising flours, Pillsbury and Gold Medal, and if you're going to have a cobbler, then hey, it's okay to use, I'm not going to say an off-brand, it's just pick your favorite brand, save the white lily for your biscuits. So I'm going to use a cup of self-rising flour and a half cup of sugar. And I got to have a half cup of milk. Now, while I'm doing this, that's the thing about doing this live, you forget things. Because you always got to have something to cook in. Okay, if you don't have a pan, your oven is set at 350, right? Okay, good. So the best tasting cobbler is either going to come out of a cast iron skillet or pick the oldest pan you have. This one, my mom's dad made this, my grandfather. He made it about 75 or 80 years ago. So while I'm getting everything ready, I'm going to get a half a stick of butter. If you accidentally put more butter in it, is that a mistake? Probably not. So we're going to let this start melting while we mix everything up. Again, a cup of flour, half a cup of sugar, and a half a cup of milk. All right. And depending on what recipe book you look at, a lot of them are going to say that's all you got to have. I like to add one other ingredient, and depending on what size cap, it's either going to wind up being close to half a teaspoon or a quarter teaspoon of vanilla extract, or it could be vanilla flavoring. It's okay, but just a capful is all you're going to need, and it'll wind up being a half teaspoon or a quarter teaspoon most of the time. So if you'll notice with this batter, it still has some chunks in it, and don't worry about that, because believe it or not, that makes it good. It makes it really good. While I'm getting ready for this is going to go in the pan, and then the peaches are going to go on top of it. So what I like to do, you can do this with a knife or put it in a bowl, but I like to have the peaches cut up a little smaller so that you have a lot more pieces. And we're actually going to spoon that in over. We're going to spoon that in over the batter. Remember, I put that on 350. The pan's probably going to be a little bit warm, so, safety first. Okay. If it's not all melted, that's okay, because butter is going to be good no matter where it is in the pan. So we're going to pour all the batter in the pan. And if you didn't mix it up perfectly, that's okay, because once the peaches get in there, it's going to be delicious. That's going to be awesome. Let me get the peaches. Now let's put some peaches in here. And you see I have smaller chunks now instead of the bigger pieces. Remember, as you're making this, you can use just about any of your favorite fruits. This is going to be delicious. Alright, so we're ready to put this in the oven. At 350, it'll probably cook for about 25 or 30 minutes. And it's going to come out delicious just like that. Remember, taste and see the Lord is good. What do we have to be afraid of? Are we going to be afraid of anything? Who should I fear? Nobody. What should I fear? Nothing. So just to show you that if you have cobbler, you just got to have some. So you probably have your favorite way of having cobbler. It's going to be delicious just as it is. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is going to be so good. I love the edges of it. Yep, because those little crispy pieces where the butter. Oh my goodness. That's going to be awesome. And what's better is maybe a little bit of coffee. You see, that's going to be delicious. The only thing extra, what could possibly, we said taste and see the Lord is good. Taste and see this cobbler is pretty awesome. No, yeah. And you know what? Why not a little bit in the coffee, because it's going to make like creamer and, okay, I won't do that because we have guests. It'll be here. Trying to be safe. I'm sort of probably sure that this is going to taste delicious, but let's just see. Oh man. With some ice cream, I could probably eat every bit. Well, I shouldn't, but I could. Look, God doesn't want us to walk around in fear. We can take refuge in Him, and while we're taking refuge in Him, we can enjoy the good things that He has for us. We know that troubles are going to come. He said so. But if our refuge is in Him, we'll taste and we'll see that He was good. He is good, and that we can say, just as the psalmist did, I will bless the Lord at all times, especially when I'm having cobbler and some coffee. Wish you were here. Y'all have a great evening. God bless you. We miss you. And we'll look forward to seeing you online for the Good Friday service at 6 and then worship 10:30 on Sunday. God bless you. Have a good evening.